remember me.
You fabulous thing. You crawled out of a pitiless grave deeper than hell. Only one thing's gonna do that for you. Not hope. Hate. No shame in hate. It's one of the great forces of nature. That wasn't hope, that was instinct.
That is a clip from Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, written, directed, and produced by George Miller. George, hello, nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. I love the film very much. The first thing I want to mention, because sometimes this falls off the edge of a conversation, the first thing I want to mention is the sound. Because the first time I smiled in your film is 5 seconds in with this. I mean, it was in a fantastic, go see this on a big screen and have a good sound system, because the noise, the rumble, the roar that you've got from your machines is something else. Can we just credit the sound guys?
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm so glad you say that. Look, I try to make movies which are silent movies with sound. And so in other words, you could read the movie without sound, but when you actually have sound in the movie, it becomes a much more immersive experience. And I also think you can almost hear with your ear, you can almost see with your ears. You can actually guide the audience to what they need, what is most important by sound as much as anything else. Just as you can actually hear with your eyes. I think you can show in the rhythms of a movie, you can actually see impacts, I think. So when those two things come together, it's synergistic and the sum is greater than the parts. So that's really good. And we're very, very precise with sound.
Yeah.
And particularly sound that you're going to see in the cinema. I mean, this is more a cinema experience.
Big screen, big speakers.
Yeah.
That's
the rumble of the. I love that feeling when it's not so too loud, but it's not overwhelmingly loud, but it's loud enough where the seat rumbles. I love being in the cinema and feeling that.
Just as an introduction, just tell us where we are with the start of this film. Introduce us to your picture.
Well, we're in a world about 50 years from now, 50 years from next Wednesday, let's say, when all the things that worry us in the news all come to pass in one terrible cascade of catastrophes, as it were. Okay, so we've lost everything: the power grids, all the institutions, and whatever. And we're in a continent like Australia where we don't know what's happened to the cities or whatever. But what's in the centre of Australia, about 50 years on, people have found a new way of being, a new ecology, which basically goes back to some sort of very more, let's say, dark ages or medieval time, still with the remnants of 20th century technology, not 21st century technology. The power grids are down, so you can't have a mobile phone, you can't have electric cars, you don't have any communications with anybody else, and you don't know if anyone else is out there. So this is the wasteland. And the story begins with an oasis called the Green Place of many mothers that exists only because it's so isolated. And you, as the film declares, it's the pole of inaccessibility. And Furiosa lived her childhood there, but is taken out into the wasteland, and she spends basically her whole life trying to get back. But and the story basically forges her into that sort of road warrior that she becomes out of the end of the story.
So in Fury Road, so we've seen that incredible performance from Charlize Theron. So that's who the child and then the woman becomes later on. So we know that. How much of that this backstory that we're seeing in this film, how much of this story did you know when you were filming Fury Road? When Charlize Theron was being Furiosa, how much of this did she know?
All of it. All of it. We had to do it. because that happens over 3 days and 2 nights, and you have to pick it all the exposition up on the run. And if we didn't, those of us who were making the films, all the designers, the writers, the actors, everybody had to be working basically with the same organizing ideas. So we wrote Furiosa. After we wrote, Fury Road kept on being delayed, so we had the time to be able to write this story in the 18 years before we meet her in Fury Road, from when she's 10 until she's 28. And so Charlize got this script with concept art before she shot it, just as everybody else did, all the other actors, and as I say, everybody else working on the film. And when that film worked, we said, okay, in the future, let's give this one a shot. So here we are.